to plan, do I want to choose for my child, and thereby you're calculating. Hi, welcome to Life Preparations with Dorcas, and today we are going to be talking about school. Remember in the introduction video I had said we'll be talking about different series about different things. Yep, today we are starting with school series, and in this school series we're going to be telling you about so many things regarding your child's school or even your own choice of school if you are in school. Will guide you on how you should pick a school, the qualities you should look out for in a school, your own participation as a student, the participation of your child if you're not the one in school, if the school is for your child, and so many other things you should prepare for. Remember, we're all about preparation, preparation, preparation. And this is August in Nigeria. This is a time that a lot of parents are, buying things and getting children to go back to school by September. So we decided to do this especially for you because we have you in mind and we are rooting for you. So let's dive in. Today we're starting with the first topic: preparing for school generally. So now this is a very, very broad one. And then in the next few videos, we'll now be breaking them down into different activities for child, for parents, for school, and all of that. So this is for a parent. You are preparing to get your child to school. If this is your first time or is a returning student, what are the things you should consider when taking your child to school? First off, for me, I would say values, which is number one. What are your values? What are the things that you consider really important that you keep in high esteem? What are the things that guide you as you make choices in life? Those are your values. Do you have integrity as one? Do you have honesty? Do you have time management? There are so many values, but now it depends on you. So you're going to be asking yourself this question: this school that I want to select or I want to choose for my child, are their values in line with mine? Do they align? If these values do not align, you are not advised in this video to take your child to that school. Do you know why? The reason is you are going to be building and somebody is going to be tearing down. Why? Because your values do not align. If your values are empathy, kindness, honesty and all of that, and then you take your child to a school that do not honor these values, oh no, you are going to be building and somebody is going to be tearing down as a result of the culture in that school, as a result of the environment, or so many other things. You really don't want to be found in that state. Let's go. Number two, what should you be considering? Should you be considering a homeschooling situation or the normal regular school system? If you're going to be considering a homeschool situation, are you going to be homeschooling the child yourself, or are you still going to expose the child to someone who will teach the child at home? Now, if you're exposing the child, if you're taking the homeschooling category and then you're going to be exposing the child to someone else, you have to think, what is the values of this person that is coming to teach my child? If your values align, then I guess you're good to go. If your values do not align, it means you may have to teach the child yourself or get someone else whose values align. So you don't want somebody who is a careless person, who doesn't take note of things, who is not put together to teach your child, because you are teaching your child child management, you're teaching your child organizational skills, and then somebody else is coming from this other side, very disorganized. He's not coming to tear down what you have built. That is not the situation you want to be in. But if you decide you want to take a regular school system, also, like I earlier said in the first comments, which is values, you have to now think about your values. Does the school hold in high esteem? these values that you hold in high esteem? Will they be able to support you? Remember, your child's school is part of the package, package that comes as your support system. Your child's school, the church you attend, these two usually form part of the support system that you have on your way to preparing your child to become whom God has called him to be, or achieve whatever God has, asked him to achieve. But if you take your child to the wrong place, moving on, let's go to number 3. What are your reasons? Is it because, oh, everybody is taking his child to school, maybe XYZ? I don't want to mention the name of any school, so XYZ school. And because you feel, since everybody is going, let me join the bandwagon. You have found yourself in school XYZ. Remember what I said? You need to check and check again. Does it align with your values? Next, we're going to be considering, does this fit into the learning style of my child? So there is what is called learning style. This is just basically how your child learns. Now, do you know how your child learns? Is he a visual learner, or an auditory learner, or is a kinesthetic learner? So people learn differently. Your child may be learning through his eyes. He's quick to learn, so it means that your child is a visual learner. There are people who understand just by listening. They are good to go. Some you have to dramatize, or get their hands dirty for them to pick up. Which one is your child? The school you are taking your child to, do they understand this? Do they accommodate children with individual differences to be able to help them learn? These are some of the things you should be thinking about. What else should you be considering? You should be asking yourself, is this school a day school? Is this school a boarding school? As a family, what have we decided? Is our child going to a day school or a boarding school? If it's a day school, okay, is it from primary school, depending on which grade your child is, primary or secondary, he's going to go through this day school? Or is it going to be only university? Like, there are so many things you guys need to consider. Do you know that there are even day and boarding primary schools? Yes, there are boarding primary schools. So you need to make up your mind. Our child is going to be a boarder, our child is going to be a day student. Make up your mind early, and remember, know your values, know what you require in a school. That will make it easy for you to know what you want in a school. What about proximity? If you decide that you're going to pick the choice of a day school, what about proximity? What are you looking at? Are you saying you want this child's school to be close to the house? Or do you want the school to be close to your house, to your office? Or do you want the child's school to be close to maybe your church? If you're somebody who goes to church almost every, like, 3 or 4 or 5 times a week, do you want it to be close so that once you pick the child, you move? Or if you're somebody who sells in the market, you want a school that's really close to your business area, which is the market. Immediately you drop him off in school, you are moving on. So proximity is what you also have to think about, such that you are considering that it's going to take me 5 minutes from this school to my office, or 5 minutes from the school to my house, and thereby you're calculating. In Nigeria, we have traffic depending on where you live. Some places do not have as much, so you also have to put that into consideration, such that you don't have to wake your child too early because you want to beat traffic time. By the time you do that, the child is getting to school and is drowsy and sleepy. By the time this child does this thing for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, fatigue begins to set in. That might affect your child's learning. You really don't want to have that. Okay, What about drop off and pick up, which is my next point? Drop off and pick up. Remember, most schools, I'm going to use Nigeria for example, most schools in Nigeria, you drop your child off between 7:30 ish. you know some schools extend to 8, but I'm saying that who is going to be dropping off? The husband or the wife? And who is going to be picking up? Do you have a cousin, a brother, a sister, or somebody who is going to help you with this? Or do you have to do it yourself as a parent? Again, if you're going to a regular school, you need to find out from the school what their policy is regarding dropping off children and picking up. Some schools have tags that they give to you at the beginning of the term. So whenever you're coming to pick up your child, you must come with the tag. In addition, you would send them the name, that is if it's not you, the name of the person who's coming to pick up the child with a picture of the person, and then the person must come with the tag, the pickup tag. Now, if you do not send them the picture or put a call through, or give the person the tag, any of this will make the school not to release the child. Why? There's been several cases of somebody coming to pick up a child from school saying that, oh, your dad or your mom asked me to pick you, that trust and everything, and then they just so some schools, to avoid these kinds of situations, decide and say, in addition to your pickup card, you must call us or send a message to the WhatsApp number of the school, so that we are aware you are not the one coming. You are giving us the name of the person, if possible with a picture of the person, and the person should also come with the tag. So who is picking up, who is dropping off, all those things you have to consider, because again, some schools will ask you to pay some money for letting that child stay longer than necessary, because again, your children need to rest after school, because resting and sleeping actually helps them to assimilate better what they have learned in the day. What else should you be considering when you're picking a school for your child? Look at the curriculum of the school, which is the next point. Look at the curriculum of the school. Now, I'm not just telling you the curriculum that they will just tell you, we run Nigerian curriculum, or British, or Montessori, and Canadian, this one, the other. No, the school can just say it, but are they actually teaching it? And is there an impact on the learners, which is, the students of the school or pupils, depending on the primary school or secondary school, whatever. What is the impact? Do you see that these children are able to understand this, or just because everybody says, oh, we run American curriculum, and then you just say American, oh, American, and you just move? Is that what you're looking out for? Just to say that, oh, my child learns American curriculum? Or are you going to take your time, sit and go through it, request from the school, tell them you want to see the curriculum? Like, I'm sure they have all these things written down. Ask them, you want to have a look. A sincere school would allow you see it. There shouldn't be any qualms, with allowing you to see, because again, that's what your child is going to be taught. Because again, like one of my friends who has relocated out of Nigeria has told me about certain courses they teach that has to do with sexuality in the particular country she moved to. So if you are in Nigeria and that kind of a course is being introduced in your child's school and you don't want, you immediately move. I promise you, not all the schools will be taking that particular, course. But if you don't sit and take your time to check out the curriculum and what your child is going to be learning and how these lessons will be taken, such that the child is able to understand. At the end of the day, your child may not be learning as he should, or the richness, the quality of what should be there may not just be there, even though it has a name that is called so curricula. That curricula, you don't want to have that. You want to see the richness of the content of what your child should be learning. All right, what else should we consider? Hmm, is the age of the child. So there's this thing that people do that's called double promotion. I don't know if it's done in every country, but I know that in Nigeria, we have some schools back then that used to do that double promotion thing. I don't know if it still holds now, but I remember when I was in primary school, there was this thing that people used to do double promotion. They used to say it was for children who were really intelligent. So if the child was really good in this class, he's super smart, why waste his time in this class? Let's move into the next class because he's able to do better there, even if the age is not up to. But guess what? I remember a story my dad told me. He said that when they were in primary school, there was no all this common entrance, there was no, so the best way to get your child into school, especially primary school, was to let the child put his hand over his ear. Once his hand could come over to the other side or this way without him having to bend, it means the child is ready for school. But in these times, people take children to school 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Now, I know that there are different reasons why a child may start school early or a child may start school late. But please sit down, do your research. On this point, I'm not going to give you a particular age that your child must start school, but I would just encourage you to make sure that your child starts at a good time. Let him not be too quick, because these days I hear of people in the university at 14 years, at 15 years. A lot of the times the biological age may be there, but the emotional age is not actually there. That's why you get to see that a lot of the younger people who get into the universities these days are prone to joining this cult or that group or so group that is not usually healthy for the person. Why? Because the person is not emotionally built for that place. And that's why you see the younger people that are now getting into employment, if you check it, some of their skills have not been built. So take your time, don't rush your child. I am of the opinion that my children should still do primary six. Yes, I said that. I am of the opinion that my children and the children of people around me, if they care to listen, should do primary six. In Nigeria, a lot of people just move from grade five and just jump six and move on to junior secondary school. Well, a lot of people say, no, but he can cope. He can do it. He's intelligent. Well, he's intelligent. We're not arguing about that. But all I'm saying is, he may not just be emotionally, strong and built and ready, so that he doesn't get into JS1 and he's the only 9 year old or 8 year old and everybody else is like 10, 11, 12, and then they begin to bully him or bully her. You really don't want that kind of thing for your child. So take out your time, look at all of these considerations. These are basically like general things to consider for your children when they are going to school, or even for yourself. If you look at yourself and you're listening to me and you're like, oh, I'm just 17 and I don't feel emotionally ready to get into the university. Nobody says you must get into the university at the age of 17. You can do what is called a gap year. Take your time, learn other things, volunteer somewhere, and before you know it, you're building resilience, you're building so many other skills that once you enter into the university, you're going to be doing so well for yourself. And you'll be glad that you took that 1 year, which is called the gap year. So there are so many other things we're going to be talking about as we go on this school series. So if you're an uncle, you're a mother, a father, an aunt, please come closer. We have a lot of things to talk about in the next video as we talk about school. Remember, this is the school series on life preparations with Dorcas. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like this video, share to your friends and family. They need to know this. I promise you, a lot of people don't know about these things. So we are here for you. We're going to be guiding you on how you should prepare for school resumption, the key things you should look out for in a school, and so many other beautiful things in this school series. That notification button should be on as well. Thank you and have a beautiful day.